Thank you, Dr. Campese. Now we have our last but not the least speaker, Sean Sanders, who is here to represent the American Association for the Advancement of Science. Is an editor for the custom publishing for the journal Science, and he's here is gonna share with us like the benefits of like of using like tools for like careers that are provided by science careers. And myself, I used to spend like quite a bit of time when I was a postdoc like to read some of the articles. Can be very very insightful, and they can range from like helping like project management or like developing like your own skills as a PI, or simply like tips how to do a better job on your resume. So Sean, thank you. And here.
Thank you very much. So thanks very much for the invitation to be here. I feel very honored. I'm the only speaker without an Italian name, so hopefully I'll do okay. Strange enough, when I was traveling in Italy, a lot of people started speaking Italian to me because they, for some reason, thought that I was Italian. I'm not sure why. I still haven't figured that out. Okay. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about a toolkit for winning careers in science, or paving your way to success using sciencecareers.org. And I'm going to take you through a few of the tools that we have available on sciencecareers.org that scientists in many, many different disciplines can use, and will hopefully help them in their careers in many different ways. I have my iPhone here, so I'm not checking Twitter or Facebook, I promise. I have some notes here. Or maybe I'm checking Facebook and Twitter, you'll never know. But let's start off. So, who knows what AAAS is? It's American Association for Advancement of Science. Does anyone know the organization? Just raise your hand. Great. So good. So we publish science. We're an international nonprofit, and we're dedicated to advancing science, engineering, and innovation throughout the world. AAAS does a huge number of different things. We're membership-based, we publish science, and we're also the source of a broad range of career advice, as I mentioned, through sciencecareers.org. I wanted to put this quote up, and this actually ties in very nicely with some of the previous speakers, especially Dr. Bertuzzi. Young people themselves don't realize how valuable they are with a PhD. It means an ability to think deeply, solve problems, analyze data, criticize, and be criticized. PhDs often don't realize the breadth of what they are capable of doing. When you get a PhD, you're not just getting a degree, you're getting a lot of things. So when you go out looking for a job, whether it's in the sciences or doing a, quote, alternative career, you have a huge value to give to whatever job you're coming to, not just because you can do some experiments in a lab, but because you've learned to think critically and problem solve. And you'd be surprised how many people out there cannot do this. So it's very important to remember, you have a lot of value. So this is a great cartoon from Powered Higher and Deeper by York Cham. I don't know if any of you know this. If you don't, go to his website, sign up for his emails. Some really funny comics. So this is the life plan that we usually think is going to happen. We go to college, we finish college, we go to grad school, we choose our thesis topic, we get a great academic job, we get tenure, we win a prestigious career award, and we live happily ever after. Yeah, that's not how it happens. Reality is, you go to college, great, you finish college, you go to grad school, you work on a random fruitless project, you decide you should probably choose a thesis topic sometime, you're still in grad school, age of 30, wondering where everything went wrong at the age of 34, and then who knows what. So the career track is not as easy as we're led to believe when we first start out with our PhD studies. So it behooves us to take control of our career, and that's what we hope sciencecareers.org can do for you, is help you do that, get control, and learn a little bit along the way. So what can Science Careers do for you? Well, we have a number of things. We have a job board where a number of jobs are posted. Right now we have over 2,000 jobs listed on our job board. We have over 4,000 articles about careers in science dating back a number of years. And this is a searchable database. You can go learn about just about any career related to science or peripheral to science. We have a Science Careers Forum which is an online forum where you can go along and ask questions about anything to do with the sciences, whether it's getting a job in industry, or whether it's what to do when your supervisor says you're not doing a good job, or if you want to tell your supervisor that you don't want to do science anymore, you want to go off and do something different. You can upload your CV. There's companies out there that access our site and search CVs for potential candidates for jobs. And there's something called My IDP, which I'll get to in a minute. I'm going to touch on just 3 of these, the job board, the career forum, and My IDP, and we're going to start off with the job board. So this is the opening page of the Science Careers website, and if you click on the Find a Job tab up on the Science Careers website, and this is, by the way, very easy, it's sciencecareers.org. What you'll find is a great place to search for jobs. You can search by a number of different criteria. You can look for a position type. You can look for a salary range. Not that we're too picky about salaries when we're postdocs, right? You can look for a job type, and you can also sign up for alerts. So you can put in a job search, put your email address in, and it'll send you an alert every time a job matching your criteria comes up. And I actually used this when I was searching for editorial positions, because believe it or not, editorial positions are posted here as well. So, and by the way, just to give you a little bit of an idea of where I came from, I started off as a research scientist doing cancer research. I did my PhD in England. I grew up in South Africa. I came over here to do a postdoc at NIH. I did a second postdoc at Georgetown, and then I got wise and I realized I'm not going to get anywhere in this academic track. So I went into industry and then eventually ended up moving over to publishing. By the way, if you want to chat to me afterwards, I'll be here for the Q&A and I can hang around for a while if you want to learn or hear a little bit about my career track and if you're on something similar. So that's the job board. Very quick and dirty. Go over there, search for some jobs, see what's out there. It's also good not just to, when you are actually want to look for a job, to go to the job board, but go every now and then and just see what's available. See what kind of jobs there are, see what the kind of things that people are doing, because it gets you thinking about possible careers that you might want to be in, besides what you're doing right then and there. So the career forum. If you go to the Science Careers web page, click on the forum link at the top right, you'll get to this page, which is our Science Careers Forum. This is moderated by someone named Dave Jensen, who's been an industry career consultant for many, many years. He's been moderating the job board for a long time. And he has 3 advisors that are listed there, Anna PG and Rich Lemmert. A number of them have been around for ages as well. These guys will give you great advice. You ask questions, either Dave or one of the other advisors will answer it, or anybody else who's just cruising around the job board. There's a number of people there that just sort of lurk and like to answer questions, like to help people, especially young people who are starting out in their careers. It covers all sorts of topics. I just pulled this screenshot the other day. For instance, the third one down, authorship issue. It was somebody who was about to publish a great paper, was first author. Suddenly her supervisor said, actually, I'm going to combine your results with somebody else's in the lab. She ended up as third author. And now she's upset about this and saying, well, what do I do? How can I speak to my supervisor about this? Interviews at small biotech for misfit position. This is somebody who is being interviewed. They got a call from a biotech company that they'd applied for a position that they don't really feel they're a good match for. And they're asking, well, why are they doing this? And they got some great answers about, well, maybe they see something in you that you don't see. Maybe they're a small biotech and they're interviewing you because you're an exciting candidate, you seem very keen, but maybe you're not a perfect fit with the techniques that they want, but you can learn them. So a lot of great advice there. You can go along, you just go to the main page and you click the new topic button. You need to register for posting a message. You can lurk there as long as you want without registering, but if you want to post something, you need to register. Just fill in a subject, type your message, and submit it, and I can promise you'll get some great answers. So some of the things you can get from the forum: advice from experts. There's a lot of them out there. There's input from your peers as well, people who've been through what you've been through. It's semi-anonymous. When you register, you need to give a proper name. It doesn't have to be your real name, but it needs to be a professional name, so you can't sort of use Sexy Scientist 99 or something. It's a professional forum. Well, you could if you wanted to, but we'd change it. There's a historical database, so you can search that database and see what people have been posting over the years. A lot of really great information there. Last piece, My IDP. So again, this is from the main page. You scroll down a bit and you'll see under More Resources, you'll find My IDP. So who knows what an IDP is? Okay, I see a few hands. So you should have all got in your packets a little postcard like this, which is about the My IDP. So an IDP is interestingly something that I'd never heard of, and something a lot of scientists haven't heard of. But in industry, it's actually quite popular, and it's becoming more integrated into science as we speak. And in fact, the NIH is now requiring that people on their grants fill out an IDP. And this is a really important step. So an IDP is an individual development plan. And what this is this is a way for you to look at what you've done, what your skills are, and where you can take them, and what you need to get where you're going. Okay? So it steps you through this process. So this is a fantastic website. I think this is probably the most valuable tool we have on our website for young scientists. And I really encourage everyone to go and look at this and take the time to fill it out, because this will be really valuable. You can take the results to your mentor, to your supervisor, to anybody who you trust, and show them and talk about it. It's a really valuable way to see where you are in your career and how you can advance. So this is the main page on our website. The process for an IDP, and the reason I don't have screenshots is because you need to register, and it's a whole big process. It also takes quite a while to do, so you need to put aside a block of time. But what you do is you evaluate your skills, values, and interests in the first step. You then do a self-assessment, where you look at some career options that you might be interested in. You set specific career goals as to how you're going to reach a certain point, and then you activate your plan. And part of activating the plan is when you set it in motion, it sets up reminders for you. So you will then move forward through the process, and it'll send an email reminder, okay, by this stage you should have done this. Okay, you need to have spoken with your supervisor about this, or you need to have maybe put together a new CV because you're applying for a certain type of job. So it's a really great process. I don't know exactly how long it takes, but you can do the process in steps and you can save everything along the way. But you're going to probably need a couple of hours at least to really sit down and think about answering the questions properly. What can My IDP do for you? Well, it's going to help you define and pursue your career goals. It's specifically tailored for PhD students and postdocs. So previously there were some IDPs out there, but they were more for business and industry. This is specifically for you guys and how you can get ahead in your scientific careers. You get to clearly identify your skills. You're going to be able to see your strengths and weaknesses and look at it honestly and see what you need to do to overcome some of those weaknesses especially, and how to use your strengths. And you can lay out a career path, so it'll be a little bit clearer in your head where you want to be. And this is also very useful when you're going into an interview for a position. And I remember when I was interviewing for, I wanted a bursary, a scholarship for my undergrad. And they said to me, well, what are you going to do after you've done your undergrad? And I said, well, I'm going to go off and get a PhD, and then I'm going to run a lab. And that was one of the things that really impressed this committee, is that I knew where I was going. So when you walk into a job, if they say, well, where do you want to be in 5 years? And you go, well, I don't know. I guess I'd like to maybe have a couple of postdocs and, well, I don't know. They're going to look at you and go, well, this guy doesn't really, or gal doesn't really know what they want. So work on laying out a career path. As I said, it's a stepwise process. You can save it. You can modify it as you go through. It's completely private. You can share it with people if you want, but nobody else has access to the system. And as I said, it also sends out reminders to you. You can learn a lot more about My IDP by going to the Science Careers website, and in the search box, just type in My IDP. And there's something like 10 or 15 articles that have been posted recently on this. It'll step you through the whole process. It'll tell you how to use it, what you can use it for. I don't know, do I have any more time? Just a little bit. Okay, I'm going to run through this very quickly because it ties in with what Dr. Bertuzzi was saying about this alternative careers. This is something I think that is very important for PhDs and postdocs to think about. This is just another graph from FASEB that shows the distribution of biomedical science PhDs and their sector of employment. And as you can see in the purple, those in academia are dropping. So this is exactly what Dr. Battucci showed. So here's a list of some things that scientists do outside of research, okay? I'm just going to highlight a few of them. Journal editing, science writing, that's stuff that I do. Marketing and sales, program administration for grants, public policy, very important. We really need scientists in public policy, people with PhDs. And please, if you're at all interested, go into government, because I think there's one PhD scientist in the Senate, something like that. So we really, really need scientists there to support what we're doing. Entrepreneurship is another one. And just very quickly, some questions to consider. And these questions actually on one of these sheets here. I have some flyers with some more information about science careers. Feel free to come up and grab one after the presentation. But these are I think things are good to ask whatever you're going to do, whether it's a career within science or outside of science. What do you like? What energizes you? What gets you up in the morning? When I moved out of science, one of the reasons was that I realized that I wasn't energized by wanting to go into the lab. It just didn't do it for me anymore. So that was a recognition. I need to be doing something different. What type of tasks and activities make you completely lose track of time? In other words, what are you passionate about, besides computer games and Twitter and Facebook and all that? What do you want to do lab work? What would you miss about being in the lab? What kind of place do you want to work? What do you want to wear to work? I hate wearing suits, but you know, you've got to do it in some careers. If you only want to wear jeans and a t-shirt, stay in the lab. Don't get into finance, definitely, or at least not on the East Coast. How often do you want to change projects? This is especially important if you want to go into industry, because industry, you don't always have control over your projects. You know, someone's going to come along and say, okay, we're cutting this, it's not working, we're putting you on something else. If that's really going to throw you for a loop, maybe industry isn't good for you. Would you like to work independently or part of a team? A couple more, what sorts of hours do you want to work? What about travel? What sorts of funding? How important is your income and job security? This is really important. We know as scientists, we're not going to earn a lot of money, okay? Let's be honest, unless you invent something, come up with a great drug, but then whoever you're working for probably owns that anyway. What sort of stress levels do you like to deal with? You know, don't go into a job where there's a lot of stress if you don't like it. So this is the address again, sciencecareers.org. If you want to chat to me afterwards, I'm available. I can give you a business card. You can feel free to contact me. If you have a business card, give it to me. Always a good thing to have if you're a scientist. Print your own business cards. Go to Staples. Very useful to have. Thank you very much.